rock and roll.
Here we are. I'm Arnold Nipper. I'm with PeeringDB, and I give a short update on PeeringDB. I've heard there are some newcomers to see, and perhaps they also didn't hear about PeeringDB. So what is PeeringDB in a short? So if you want to interconnect, you basically need information about three things more or less. This is about the networks, the ASN, the internet exchange points, and collocation of facilities. And this is what PeeringDB is all about. You find all this information just in one place and neatly tied together. So if you have an ASN or if you have an internet exchange point or the facilities, you probably would like to register with PeeringDB. PeeringDB is already around since 15 years or so, and roughly 3.5 years ago, we decided, because PeeringDB is so needed, to put an association behind it. So we are a US-based association. It's a 100% volunteer organization funded by sponsorship. So we also have a board, but the board meets 1 to 2 times every 1 to 2 months on a phone call. The basic work is done by committees. We have the admin committee, operations committee, outreach committee, and product committee. And this basically is really where the work is. So the admin committee, you could say, is what in other companies is the support department. Operations company, these are the guys in the machine room where the software and the servers are hosted and reached. Then we have the product committee. It's like product management. This is also perhaps most interesting for you if you have an idea what PeeringDB could do, should do. We have a GitHub where you can file both bugs as well as requests. You think, oh, this is a great idea. Then you just file an issue, and the product committee will look into this. And since 1 month or 1.5 months, we also have an outreach committee, which are those people which we would like to do more marketing, social media, develop presentations, and so on and so on. So this is a little bit of statistics. We did a complete rehaul of PeeringDB a little bit more than 2 years ago, and since then we even see that PeeringDB is more used than ever before. Especially we have a big sign up in users, which also help us to reduce spam, more members, more networks, more interconnect facilities, and also more internet exchange points. The board also meets once per year in a face-to-face meeting, a full day, where we set the task for that year and the next year. And for this year, it's all about maintaining SLAs and contracts for all supporting service providers. That means we want to have more professional services you are relying on. Then also heavily work on documentation, because this is what users also tell us. They said the service is great, but if I want to read something about what you are offering, it's really hard to find out. This is the roadmap and the features. We try to have a release every month, or the second month. What did we do this year with a release in January? We moved the services to a new hosting infrastructure. We also introduced the authentication features, of course, headers in the API responses, expanded authorization with RDAP. This is where we take the information from the RIRs from, and also you are now able to store your search queries, the advanced search queries in JSON format. What we did in May also, we had a security update to fix issues found in the security audit. I will talk about that later on. And I guess what is most important for this year is that we went for internationalization. We also implemented Portuguese as the first language pack, and we are working on, I guess, 6 or 7 other languages to have PeeringDB in. This is also, we do not only have a graphical user interface, what might be also more valuable is the API for automation is you can get easily information from PeeringDB and message and do whatever you want. So this query, for example, is querying for all the internet exchanges which are in the C region, and I extracted simply the country, the city and the name from it. And you see what I've highlighted is, and I guess we also have talked about it, the latest exchange point here in the region is Annex in Tirana, and today I approved the BH-NIX, that's it, Bosnia and Herzegovina neutral internet exchange. What you also can do, both the networks as well as the IXPs, to import data which is provided by the so-called IXF JSON format. This is explained in more details how networks can do it, on how IXP can do that. This is easily, for example, if an IXP clicks, okay, allow IXPs to update my record, then they do have not to take care. If they, for example, are moved around with IP addresses, then automatically, if the IXP is updating it, it's automatically updated in PeeringDB as well. I've talked about that, what we did fixing security bugs in PeeringDB. We want to make the PeeringDB source code public domain. And for doing that, we had a source code audit. And if you want to know more about it, this is the URL. You can read out what the auditors said. There are no major issues with the code, and I guess in the next month or the next 2 months, we will make the PeeringDB source code public domain, so that third parties are able to contribute and work on it as well. As mentioned before, now you're also able to have PeeringDB in your own language. At least if you speak English and Portuguese. As said, there are more language where PeeringDB is translated in, and you are happily invited, especially in the C region. There are more languages which people talk. If you want to do it, it's not that much words. It's about 3,000 to 4,000 words and sentences which have to be translated. It's not so much, Serge. 2 days and you are done. So this basically is it. As I said, PeeringDB is 100% sponsored. If you want to become a sponsor, you are heartily invited to do so. Sponsors pack range from 2.5K per year to 25K per year. Do so, you help the community, and that's it from my side. Questions?
Thank you very much, Arnold.
Yes. There was a discussion on GitHub about showing the number of peers at the exchange point, and I know that you are working on this. Can you tell us when we will see it live?
With all the requests coming in, it may take a while until the product committee is deciding on it. But I know you have opened the issue, it's still open, and I see next month or after that next month, the product committee will decide on it.
Oh, you're in trouble now.
Does it answer your question, Eric? Okay.
You're in trouble now, Florence.
Hi, Arnold. This is Florence from Google, 151693640, under other AS numbers. I don't really have a question, I more have a comment. So we at Google, we really love PeeringDB. We are using this massively, and we are also putting a lot of effort to keep our PeeringDB records updated. And what we can see on various markets in different countries is that it is still a challenge to encourage people to also keep their PeeringDB records updated. And I also have some IXPs that are coming to me and say, hey, Florence, what do you think we could do to encourage more the membership to keep that PeeringDB records updated? So I would like at some point also to see some discussions about that, how to encourage people to really make use of it and to really keep their PeeringDB records updated. If you would have some suggestion, feel free to let me know what we could do there.
So to encourage networks, I guess everyone can help. These are the IXPs which can help. These are the collocation which can help. These are, of course, also the transit providers. These are those who are dealing with the networks who have ASNs. And the other point you were talking about is accuracy of data. This is really a hard point. Once data is put in, luckily it's not changing that much because the IP address typically at an exchange point is not changing that often. The ASN number is not changing very often, and where the networks are collocation-wise also not. So, not that often. I did not say is not changing.
Yeah.
And of course, I fully understand for a network like Google, it's a hard challenge to have everything in sync. If you have an idea how to do that, I would be happy to learn about that.
Well, if there is like any point where we can have like that conversation and to make people participate to that, I will be more than happy.
Yeah.
Dinner.
So one idea is to also use the community to have the data up to date, because then you have, for example, a box to tick, and just to tick this data is out of date, and the more ticks you have, then you are sure that the data really is out of date, for example.
Okay, we are out of time. Thank you, Arnold.
Thank you.
Vladislav, come on. That is Vladislav.